What is up, my bodyweight warriors, and welcome back to another video. Today's video, I wanted to share with you a topic that has been of increasing importance to me over the last couple of months, and that is strength to weight ratio in bodyweight training. This video has been a while in the making. I've kind of been waiting for my hard work and focus to pay off into results so I could share this video with you. The reason strength to weight ratio has been something of focus to me is because at the beginning of this year, actually in January the 2nd, I was at 86 kilograms in body weight, and I kind of achieved my first one-arm chin-up. Form wasn't perfect, but it was definitely a huge milestone to hit. I also was strong in my handstand push-up. I felt strong in my planche, my front lever. I was feeling really good. Since then, I did the project planche and numerous other programs, and I've been feeling strong, except my performance has been decreasing slightly. This led me to about August sort of time, and I was actually weighing in at 89 kilos. I felt strong, but my performance was less, and that was because my strength to weight ratio had definitely gone down. I wasn't gaining as much strength as I was gaining body weight. This led me down a road of focusing on really reducing my body weight, but still trying to maintain my strength. Now in October, so 10 months later, I've kind of gone full circle, and I'm now at 87 kilos in body weight. I've recently kind of re-achieved the one-arm chin-up. I would say the form is definitely better, and I felt stronger and more consistent with this particular attempt. I've also re-achieved the handstand push-up. Again, I think the form has improved and I feel stronger. My planche is improving, everything is improving, and I think it's down to this slow, gradual weight loss and bringing that strength to weight ratio back under control. So the reason this is important for bodyweight training is, unlike conventional weightlifting, you kind of have the option of whether you care about this relative strength, whether you care about how much you can lift in relation to your body weight. When it comes to bodyweight training, you kind of don't have a choice, because unlike weight training where the resistance is from that external weight and you just choose how much you put on, bodyweight training is going to be determined by your own body weight. I've got to mention that this is going to be focused specifically around people who want to increase their strength or their skills and like endurance for the pull-ups or something, in comparison to somebody who's just looking to build mass through bodyweight training. Remember, you've always got to train for your goals, so that should be your primary focus. So the main thing we want to focus on here is we want to maintain a lean, muscular body that is strong. Throughout this year-long journey of going up and going back down in weight, I never actually really got fat as such. I was still lean, I just had more muscle mass, and therefore I weighed more. But that increased muscle mass did not correlate to the increase in strength. So there is two main ways that we can focus on manipulating our strength to weight ratio. The first is going to be nutrition, and the second is going to be training. This seems obvious, but it really is the key to maintaining a lean, muscular and strong body. So firstly, let's look at nutrition. Nutrition is a bit of a balancing act because you want to ensure that you have a good intake of quality food, micronutrients to support your training and support your recovery so that we're getting stronger. But at the same time, we don't want to be eating so much that we're going to be gaining weight. So the way I like to do this is essentially focusing on how much food you are eating, and then also pair this with paying attention to the scales and paying attention to performance. So firstly, how much food are you taking in? This can be done simply through calorie counting or by using your intuition, which is what I personally go for. In terms of macronutrient ratio, it kind of depends whatever works for you. But what I would recommend is focusing on quality nutrition and real food that's actually going to help support your recovery, rather than wasting the calories or the quantity of food that you can consume on empty calories like sugary beverages and artificial foods. As I said, you then pair this with the scale, so we want to keep an eye on how much weight we are gaining or how much weight we are fluctuating by on a weekly basis. I don't like to do it on a daily basis because water weight can fluctuate so much. But of course, this should be paid attention to in relation to your strength. I recommend testing skills on a relatively regular basis. Test the core moves that you are trying to build strength in. If your skills decrease at all, the first thing I would look at is training to make sure I'm not overreaching and not overtraining through fatigue. But the second would be to try and reduce the weight gain back a bit until I regain the strength in those skills. So how I've personally done this is I've simply reduced the amount of carbohydrates that I've been intaking. I've essentially been carb cycling for the past couple of months now, and that involves having lower carbohydrates on days where I don't have as much metabolic work, and then rest days going more towards a ketosis style of eating. That is just what personally works for me. As always, find what works for you, but essentially balance the three. You want to be balancing food intake, weight gain or weight loss, and skill maintenance. That kind of leads me on into the training aspect of this whole strength to weight ratio. My first recommendation would be train for your goals. So if your goal is to increase pull-up endurance, you want to be training for that. The recommendations that I'm going to make now is going to be more in relation to building strength and skills. We want to be focusing more on the non-metabolic training range, and that would be in that 1 to kind of 6, maybe even 8 rep range. Here we're going to be focusing on building more of that neurological strength rather than increasing our muscle size. And therefore it's going to focus on just getting stronger without hopefully the added hypertrophy. However, we don't always want to be spending all of our time in that lower rep range. It's important to include some higher rep range work as well into our training for numerous reasons. One reason for including a higher rep range is for connective tissue health. If we spend all of our time in really low rep ranges working through intensely strength movements, our connective tissue is going to pay the price. It doesn't have its own blood supply, and therefore it requires a little bit of that higher rep range work to get blood into that area and increase the recovery and get some nutrients delivered. The second reason you might want to include higher rep range work is for learning new skills and building new or repatterning different movement patterns. This might be for corrective work and fixing imbalances, or simply learning a new skill. It's going to need that increased level of volume. If you want to see exactly what I've been doing for the last few months in terms of training, you can download the program that I've been following in the description down below. I've essentially been focusing on very low rep range work for my core strength moves, like stalder presses. I've been focusing on 1 rep with a slow eccentric. Front levers, I've been doing 1 rep, but I've been doing a slow eccentric. With one arm chin-ups, I've been doing 1 to 2 reps. Handstand push-ups has been 1 to 2 reps. It's all been in that low rep range work, really focusing on that maximal strength effort. I have then been pairing this with a small amount of metabolic work, but I haven't been doing many sets of this, trying to avoid promoting too much muscle hypertrophy. So there you have it, guys. That is kind of my tips and tricks when it comes to maintaining a good strength to weight ratio. It's kind of hard to give any concrete answers to this particular topic because it's going to be so much down to you, the individual, what your goals are, what your particular stage in this journey is. As always, take this information and experiment in your own personal journey. See what works for you. Never be afraid to try anything out, and never be afraid to throw anything out of the window that no longer serves you. But that has been it for today, guys. Have a strong week, and peace.